Alright guys, I just did this whole video not realizing my screen sharing was not working. So I have to do this again and repeat myself. So thank you for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom guys. In this video I just want to share a text from this book that I just received in the mail, Irish Apocrypha. It's very exciting. There's a lot of very rare texts in here, and unfortunately, apparently there's a cache of Irish Apocrypha out there, but this is the only book I can find selected texts and translations. I can't find this stuff on the internet. I could hardly find it on the internet, and I can't find any other books that have Irish Apocrypha. So this is treasure. We'll be scanning this in the archive. So I did scan one text to share with you guys because I was laying down, thumbing through it, and I felt it impressed in my heart. It's a very easy text to read. It's about like 2 pages. You could read it in like 15 minutes. It's about Elijah and Enoch, the coming of Elijah and Enoch. And I feel like this text is absolutely true and holds real prophecy and revelation. And the context of this text we can back up through other rare texts as well. Okay, so now this is the part where I'm going to get my screen sharing correct, and let's go through this. Well, actually, before I do this, let me tell you a story why this text made an impression on me and why I started reading it. Right in the beginning of this text, it talks about Elijah preaching to the birds. Okay, now those of you who know, animals are not subject to judgment. So this is my personal story. One day, somewhat recently, I was over at the Catholic Church next door, across the street, and it's a good place to hang out, and God's spirit resides there and stuff. But they have all their Catholic saints around the sanctuary and stuff, but whatever. But I was just sitting there talking with God, and he highlighted a specific saint to me. So I'm like, all right. So I went over, and it was Saint Francis. And I don't know much about Saint Francis. I don't know anything about Saint Francis. I Googled him, and just a quick search, I saw that he was known for preaching to the animals and preaching to the birds. And I told God, I'm like, that's an abomination. Animals are not subject to judgment. They don't need to hear the gospel. So I just kind of left it at that. And so I'm thumbing through this text, and I started to read this text, and bam, we have an account of Elijah preaching to the birds. So it got my attention. What is this thing that the Lord highlighted to me that I never got an answer to? So this is one of these things in this text, okay? So let's take a look at it, and this is the part where I get my screen sharing correctly. So, okay. All right, hang on. Okay, rocking and rolling, ready to go. No, we're not. This is what I always forget to do. Okay, here we are. Let's do this. All right, guys. So, where am I? Here we are in the text of this Irish Apocrypha, okay? And this is the text I want to share with you guys. The two sorrows of the kingdom of heaven. And these two sorrows end up being Elijah and Enoch. Now, why would Elijah and Enoch be the two sorrows of the kingdom of heaven? Because when they return on the scene, prophecies tell us that, and this text confirms, so we know what we're reading is real, legitimate, and valid in this text. When Elijah and Enoch step on the scene, they're going to have a higher angelic statue above all men that has never been seen in the earth before. But they're going to be lower than the angels. Okay? So that's why they're called the sorrows of the kingdom of heaven, according to this text, which I believe is valid. And now this concept I just want to show you can be confirmed in another book we have in the archive, this book of ancient Hebrew fragments about Elijah. And here is one of them. And it literally confirms, here we are on page 90, this one Fragment B. I'll leave this stuff in the description box below. But it really confirms that when Elijah is on the scene, it says he will be contending with angels. Okay? I'll leave this stuff in the description box below. So, um, so we know, for me, I'm getting confirmation that this text is real. And as I read it, I find it to run perfectly parallel with the Apocalypse of Elijah. We also have that on the archive as well. There's plenty of different translations. Um, so yeah, this text is real. We have valid prophecy, valid theology, valid insight that is very unique in this very short text. So you can finish reading it in like 15 minutes probably. So I recommend it. And I want to highlight some things that should be said. So yeah, we have this weird thing going on with the birds. That's a personal revelation for me, and we find that in the end of the text what that means. So that's interesting. Um, what should be highlighted in this text is we have a mention of the 10,000 year consummation. Okay, I don't know much about that, but I know that's mentioned in the book of Enoch, so that is valid. There's another, I think, one of the most peculiar things is that, here we are. It's telling us about the Antichrist. A demon in human form will be the Antichrist. Okay, all right. It's my understanding that Lucifer himself is going to be the Antichrist. The spirit, that spiritual entity, that fallen angel of Lucifer, is going to be the Antichrist, and he's going to take on human form. Now we know in the book of Revelation, it talks about the Antichrist and the false prophet. So it's very interesting that this text mentions a demon in human form is the Antichrist in the guise of one who comes to spread faith. A bishop will beget him on his daughter on Friday. So what this text is saying, that bishop could be the false prophet. This quote unquote bishop, however that's translated in the Irish, is going to have a child with his own daughter, and that child and that person is going to be the shell of the Antichrist, the human image of the Antichrist. That's what this text is saying. I think we could probably confirm, we might be able to see that in the book of Revelation. So that's really interesting. I just wanted to point that out. And yeah, so I just wanted to share this text with you guys. I'm not going to read it to you guys and all that kind of stuff. Read it on your own. Take you 10, 15 minutes. But this book is a treasure, guys. This book has, there are a lot of texts that we already have in the archive, but they're completely different versions. So, very interesting. Yeah, so I just wanted to share just a little bit of treasure on Enoch and Elijah with you guys. That's really it. The revelations in here, like I said, run parallel to the Apocalypse of Elijah. So, I don't know. That's really it. I just wanted to share the text. I didn't want to spend everyone's time in reading it to you, and you guys have to suffer me reading. But this is a worthwhile read. There's a lot of profound revelation and theology in here. Very profound indeed. So yeah, this is a treasure. This is a hidden gem. All right, guys. So that's it. All right. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Yah bless you. Shabbat shalom.